Hi, YouTube. Okay, let me go ahead and get started. Hey, Instagram. So today I wanted to go live to talk about what an e-commerce strategy is. And this is something that a lot of people skip out on. They don't do this part. And if they do, they don't really put a whole lot of thought into it. And so I kind of want to set the expectations of what it is and what should be included in one. Um, so let me just go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Genevia. I am the founder of HB Lighthouse, a web design studio. I started um, after running my own business for some time and working as a copywriter. So a lot of the advice and the tips that I give are based on my experience as an entrepreneur as well as a copywriter. So today I wanted to come on here to talk about what an e-commerce strategy is. So an e-commerce strategy is basically an in-depth analysis of how your website can align with your business goals and your customers' needs. So, e-commerce strategy is really just bridging the, I wouldn't say the gap, but bridging the two together. So, it is coming up with a solution to meet your business goals or your e-commerce goals, whether that is increasing sales by 20%, or maybe if you just launched, it's establishing your brand awareness, it's establishing your brand's authority in the marketplace. So that could be like goals that you may have. And so it's taking your goals and also putting them together with your customers' needs to create a strategy. So with your vision, your brand, or not the brand vision, but with your website vision, um, I, as a web designer, would take that and bring life to your vision and give life to your ideas through web design. And so a website strategy document or an e-commerce strategy document is something that the web designer puts together. So I would put that together, but you would also have a role in that. So it's a collaborative document. As far as like how I work, I think I need to make like an entire video about my process because it's very in depth. But I would be sending a questionnaire for my clients to submit, and it has a whole bunch of questions in it. And it talks about your brand's identity, your target audience, all of those details. And then I take that information and I include it in the e-commerce strategy document. And it's a document that you get to keep. Um, but I would probably create another video that talks more in depth about how I work as a web designer. Um, so the document also outlines just like where you are in your business and where you want to go. So maybe you're just starting out and you have all of these goals that you want to hit. Typically, I would recommend having like 3. Or maybe you are in your redesign era and you want to just focus on streamlining certain tools on your website, or streamlining your website in a way that it's more efficient, it's faster, optimizing speed. Maybe it's creating a better customer service experience and really just developing a more unique website design because you've gone from launch and you've had your website for X amount of months and you're just ready to have a redesigned website to sort of set yourself apart from your competitors. So 2 completely different scenarios, but they both require a web design, or not a web design, but they both require an e-commerce strategy. So let me see if I didn't miss anything. So the role that a web designer plays in an e-commerce strategy is really just developing um, a website that is going to reflect your brand's identity best. So when I go in and put together this document, I'm outlining your website's architecture, which is basically a fancy term for your website structure. So I'm outlining what the page navigation or what the main navigation is going to be, what the pages on your site should be. I'm outlining, and I have this in another video about the 5 pages that you absolutely need on your website. I think I did like a reel on it, but I'll have to do a longer in-depth video about it. But it is, the 5 pages include homepage, obviously, about, contact, a blog page, and of course your product page or pages, depending on your structure. So that is something that I work on, I develop, and I come up with what the page architecture or the website architecture should be based on the information you provide in that questionnaire. So I'm going to like work on the strategy and how things should be laid out. I also use, or I come up with creative direction on how your website should be designed and laid out based on your existing branding strategy. And this is why I'm always very adamant and why I've been creating a lot of content around branding, because it is extremely important that that is mastered and taken care of before you get to this stage, which is the e-commerce strategy stage. So first stage is brand strategy and getting all of those assets together. And then the next step is going to be e-commerce strategy, where you're working with a web designer, hopefully, and not DIYing. But if you are DIYing, the the things that I've discussed in this video are going to be the things that you need to focus on when putting your strategy together. So definitely want to know what your website architecture is going to be. Also, coming up with creative direction as far as design and layout. Now, if you don't have a design background, you're not going to necessarily know what the possibilities are for designing and laying out your website. So I recommend hiring a web designer, and hopefully that web designer puts together a website strategy or e-commerce strategy document for you. Another thing that's included in an e-commerce strategy document is references, so inspiration, and just again taking your ideas and collaborating with you on them. So if you have references or inspiration for design, layout, websites that you really like, and certain sections that you want on your website, that goes into this document as well. And it's for the designer's consideration when going to develop and design your website. The document is also going to have recommendations on third-party apps that you should use to create a great customer service. So if you're just starting out, you don't really need a whole bunch of apps, to be honest. But if you are in a redesign phase where you've been in the business for a few years and you are ready to sort of go to the next level, there are some more powerful apps that you can absolutely include in your business to really continue reaching your audience and connecting with them, because conversion is super important, but connection is also really important. We want to be able to meet our audience where they are, understand their needs, and provide solutions to them. And yes, conversion is important because conversions bring in sales, but we also are trying to connect. And as a web designer, I focus on both, but I really love the connection aspect because I'm designing a website that's going to be memorable, that's going to be delightful, that's going to keep the consumer coming back to check out what's going on your website, and just be inspired, because there are websites that are just very beautiful and very good looking that you literally just go there all the time to just see and read and know what's going on with the business. And a really great web designer will be able to do that. And so those are the main points that I have outlined in my document to keep me on task and make sure that I don't forget anything. But that is basically what an e-commerce strategy is. Everyone needs one, especially if you have a business, you're on Shopify, you're selling products, you need an e-commerce strategy so that you can be as successful with your business goals and meet your customers' needs at the same time. So that is all that I have for today. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel, our YouTube channel, and like this video. Leave a comment. Let me know if this landed, if this made sense, if you have any questions or concerns about anything that I covered. Feel free to, again, leave a comment and I will get back to you as soon as possible. All right. See you all in the next video. Bye.